A leaked memo urges an about-face for anti-equality Republicans, and a civil unions bill dies in Colorado, for now. But access to marriage expands in Rhode Island, and more new surveys confirm the ever-growing public support for equality. I'm Matt Baum, the American Foundation for Equal Rights, and welcome to Marriage News Watch for May 21st, 2012. Well, the big news this week is a leaked memo from a top Republican pollster that criticizes the traditional Republican stance on marriage equality. Jan Van Leusen's memo noted that support for marriage equality is growing in every demographic group. He added that a large majority of Republican voters support some form of relationship recognition. The memo recommends that Republican lawmakers state their support for relationship recognition, not necessarily full marriage equality, but at the very least rights like hospital visitation and adoption benefits. And it points out that recognizing LGBT families is a conservative value aligned with personal responsibility, commitment, and stability. But some Colorado Republicans apparently didn't get the memo. A proposed civil unions bill had already passed the Senate and House committees. It had sufficient support to pass the House, and the governor said he would sign it. But this week, House Republicans sent the bill to what's called a kill committee, where 5 GOP lawmakers voted it down. Among those lawmakers is Don Coram, whose son Dee is openly gay. After the vote, Dee called his father's vote a slap in the face. Republican House Speaker Frank McNulty complained that the bill would undermine a 2006 vote that banned marriage equality. But this bill wasn't about marriage, it was just civil unions, and 76% of Coloradans support some form of relationship recognition, so the bill's failure is clearly out of step with what Coloradans want. The bill will almost certainly be back next year, though some of those lawmakers may not be. Hopefully in the intervening months, more politicians will have taken the time to read Jan Van Leusen's memo. Meanwhile, there's good news this week in Rhode Island, where Governor Lincoln Chafee ordered the state to recognize marriages performed out of state. In New Jersey, a new survey shows 53% support marriage equality, with just 42% opposed, and marriage equality has a 10-point lead in Minnesota, where a new poll shows that voters support President Obama's stance on the issue by 52 to 42%. You can visit AFER.org for more on a case to overturn Prop 8 and win full federal marriage equality. I'm Matt Baum with the American Foundation for Equal Rights. We'll see you next week.